Hey, so today I would talk a little bit about, I would talk or I want to talk a little bit about cold readings, hot readings, warm readings, this reading or that reading. I personally am not even sure that I understand why there's such a label on them or who decided a label. I do believe in mediums, probably because I am one. I do believe there are others who are amazing mediums and psychics. I believe that there is so much more to our world than we could ever possibly know. I think our world is quite magical. The more I delve into my spirituality, the more I'm just like, oh, oh, hell. Oh, wow. Whoa, whoa. Um, I am probably surprised and shocked on a daily basis, which is funny because of the things I have experienced. You would think I wouldn't be so surprised anymore. But there are still some things that happen that just kind of, um, I'm going to be in a straitjacket hugging myself for the rest of my life in a padded cell. Um, yes, that thought has crossed my mind. So, when I first delved into being a psychic medium, it wasn't on purpose. It was I didn't know what was happening to me. I do remember randomly saying things to people that freaked them out, and they're like, "Why do you know that? You shouldn't know that about me." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know why I know that. Maybe you told me." "No, I didn't tell you." "Oh, you sure?" So I did spend some time in therapy trying to figure out what was happening, and I would constantly say, "I feel like I'm tapping into other people's information." I've known things from the time I was little. I do believe now, looking back, that I almost said I was bred for this. I was born for this. I came into this world with a plan. We all do, just so you know, we all do. And we're all psychic, by the way. So the mediumship and the talking to spirit and the connecting with loved ones, that didn't come until a little bit later in my life. So I think my first message probably that I realized um, probably around 2008 or 9, because I started to get stuff before my son passed away, and then it was after he passed away that things just went buh, um, where it was pretty traumatic. I mean, losing a child is the most, in my opinion, the most traumatic experience you could have. So at that point, when things really started ramping up, is when I was like, okay, I can't ignore this anymore. Something is definitely going on. Something is definitely going on. And I was reaching. I was trying to find everything I could. I was reading and I was joining groups and trying to just figure out what was happening to me. Unfortunately, I think what happens to people like me is that we are so frightened of what's happening that we do think we're crazy, that we lock it out and we don't tell anybody, or we do tell people and then we get admonished, and people out there who are like, "That's fake, you're not real, you're just after money," and that's hurtful, especially when you're starting, or you have those who are very religious who think it's demonic and bad things are going to happen to you. So now not only is your own psyche and your own little mind going crazy and you think you're going to go to hell, but now you have people enforcing that. Um, or they want to medicate you. And maybe instead of wanting to medicate everybody, we look at the beauty of, oh my God, look what's happening. This is a beautiful thing. Um, I will tell you from my experience, I have been able to help people. Um, I should say spirit has been able to help people through me. And that is a beautiful thing, to know that you are making somebody's life better. Not hurting them, not causing pain, not judging them, not forcing them to believe, but listening to them, bringing through spirit and helping them, and um, allowing that to come through you is a beautiful thing. And it really does upset me, and it frustrates me when I hear or I watch videos where people are admonishing mediums and psychics. Now, are there people in every aspect of work that do bad things? Yeah, I suppose there's mediums and psychics out there who are unscrupulous. Um, I, for one, don't think you should go up to go up to people in public and say things like, oh, you've got a dark energy around you. You've got, because that's hurtful and that is mean and that can cause more harm. And then you're sending that person into a panic. So that does happen. I've had people come to me who have had that happen to them. I was in a little shop in New Mexico, 19 years ago, and I had a lady tell me that I had something dark on my chest. Terrified me. So that was like a poke and go, a poke and run. No, we don't know. You don't do that to people. So yeah, that frustrates me. And it scared me, and it took me a long time to figure out what that was. Holding on to a little bit, that's your heart chakra, by the way. Okay, as for the cold readings and the hot readings, which was actually the purpose of this, I don't even know how you throw yourself into a category like that, or how somebody labels you like that. All I know to be true is that when this information comes, I'm not sure what it is always. I'm like, okay, how would this connect with you? What I have found when I was getting this information initially was that if I could connect it to the person next to me, it started to make sense. So I'd be like, okay, I'm hearing this, this, and this. So I wasn't hearing that before I got into that person's energy. So what is that? So I would be like, okay, does this make sense to you? And they'd be like, yes, or they'd be like, no. And then when they said no, I would dig into that. Well, if I'm next to them and it doesn't make sense to them, so why am I getting it? And then I would dig, and then I would be like, oh my God. So everything would start to reveal itself and then to unravel. So I found what happens is most people when they're learning, or maybe not even most, but some people when they're learning and starting to understand their gifts, they will get a little turned off by it because like that person didn't understand it. We'll dig into that. What is that for them? So when I started digging, is when it really started to kind of make more and more and more sense. So if you are hearing voices, always, unless they're telling you to hurt somebody, but if you're hearing things in your mind, or you're feeling things, or you're sensing things, dig into it. I discovered when I was afraid of it is when it was more powerful and when it would terrify me, and that's when I really got scared. And then I learned to shut my door in my mind's eye. And then I opened it when I was ready to communicate, when I was ready to share their messages. And that gave me the power back. So no more did I feel powerless against whatever this was that was happening. And then you learn to call in the light so that those you're communicating with have crossed through the light so that they are of the highest vibration. I do not want to channel dark things. Do I think that they can exist? Probably, but I also believe in my heart that you can raise your vibration above it so that you don't see it. And I highly recommend that. Okay? If you're having problems in your life where you feel like it's something dark and demonic, I would raise yourself above it and then have a medium come in and cleanse your home, or a psychic come in and cleanse your home. Okay? You can cleanse too. But if it feels pretty powerful for you, I would have someone else do it. And then have them show you how to do it. And then I'm here to take care of yourself, to always make sure you're taking care of yourself first. Okay. So I keep diverting from the cold readings mostly, probably because I'm just not even sure how you would label that. Again, when I get information, I'm still trying to make sense of it. So, you know, I might get tall, dark, handsome stranger. Would you understand the male who passed, who is tall, dark, and handsome? Would you understand the male who passed, who's presenting as, and then sometimes I get this, that I was very much like a father to them, or I would have been a father. Would it help me if they could speak complete sentences at all times? Of course it would, but that's not how I receive the information. Sometimes I get full sentences, but mostly I get little blurps of information. And if you think of it, it's energy, and they're trying to impress their information into my being. And that's pretty amazing if you think about it. So, and we all connect differently. Every single medium is different, just like every one of you, every plumber, every contractor, every surgeon. We all have our unique gifts and abilities that really make us shine. and mediums are the same. All right. Okay, so I hope that was useful information, and thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to share.